Well, he's probably not going to like this because he thinks that I make fun of him too much. But him and I met at a wedding, our mutual friends. I was a friend of the bride and he was a friend of the groom.
So we met at my friend Adam's wedding reception. I remember seeing her kind of stand. They had like a bar inside their house, and I remember standing there, and we were over there taking shots and stuff, so I was talking to her a little bit.
And I just remember this goofy guy with sunglasses on at a night reception. It was like 9 o'clock at night.
She kind of does a deal where she tries to pretend like she went to school with you or knows who you are, and she did that, and I had to call her on it because I went to a really small school, and somehow she nailed the school I went to without even knowing. But I had to call her on that because the people she knew I hung out with, and so then her cover was blown at that point.
I lied about what my name was, and I tried to just mess with him a little bit because I thought he was a big dork. So I do this thing where I just fib to everybody and make them think that we went to school together, and I did that with him. Told him my name was Miranda, and told him that, why doesn't he remember me? We went to school together. And he then was kind of calling me out, asked me where we went to school, and just out of nowhere, I guess, this tiny little Catholic school in Phoenix, there's like 80 people in their graduating class. Little did I know that's where he went to school. And then he asked me who my friends were, and little did I know, the only person that I knew went to that school ended up being some of his really close friends. So I got dimed out pretty quick by all of his friends.
Her trying to say she went to the same school as me, I somehow got her to pull up her Facebook to show me what friends she had that went there. And through that, I kind of got her contact info. So then we started messaging back and forth the next day or a couple days later. And I had asked her friend, that was my friend's wife, Lindsay. I'd asked her, I said, hey, put a good word in with your redheaded friend for me.
He reached out to my friend, Lindsay, who is the bride, and asked for my information so he could talk to me. So I had told my other friend that this guy was messaging me. He started on Facebook because he didn't get my number right away. Messaging me on Facebook, got my phone number, and then wanted to go out on a date. And I told my friend, I was like, I don't want to do it. He's a big dork. I don't want to. I was going to downtown ASU in Central Phoenix at the time. She's like, Amanda, just do it. Just go meet him. So I remember he texted me the whole day, asking if I wanted to go out. I texted him later that night. I was like, I get out of class at like 8 o'clock. We can meet up then if you want.
Our first date, we went to Oregano's on Camelback, and I remember she had school class at ASU downtown until the evening, and so I met her down there, picked her up, and we went to Oregano's. And
I dared him, wanted to mess with him a little bit more, so I dared him and to eat like this really hot pepper, and I told him if he'd eat the really hot pepper, I'd give him a kiss.
She had a big old pepper on her plate, and she told me if I ate the pepper, she'd give me a kiss.
He ate the really hot pepper, and I did not give him a kiss.
Yeah, that was our first date. Then she ended up, after that, I dropped her back off at her car.
And that's kind of how it ended.
After that, I dropped her back off at her car. I headed home, and then we were talking on the phone, and I said, hey, if you don't have anything else to do, come by my house. We can watch a movie or something. So I ended up getting her to come over, and we just kind of hung out on the couch, watched a movie, and then she went home after that.
I would say we hung out probably every day, whether it was me visiting him or him coming to visit me. I was going through some stuff with my family at the time, and he was always there for me. And being super new in a relationship, I was just very surprised to see that he stuck by me with everything and was always there to talk and made an effort to come out and see me.
Yeah, as we started hanging out more and more, just started noticing that's all. She's the only one I really wanted to hang out with, and either I was at her house or she was at my house whenever either of us wasn't working or if she wasn't at school, and then just kind of noticing how caring she was with her family, and she's really good with her nieces and nephews and always with them, and that's just that quality with her being real close to her family is pretty neat to me, because I have a big family and I'm close with my family, and just, I don't know, her sarcasm and her energy she's got, it keeps me on my toes because I'm not the quickest, and so with that combo, I think it worked out pretty well, and just, she's awesome to be around, awesome to spend time with, super smart, super funny, and yeah.
But I remember the Halloween party that we went to, it was a costume party. He went as a Muscle magazine fitness model, so he was a big dork again. But I remember at the end of the night, he looked at me and he said, "I think I love you." And I already knew, kind of leading up, that I'm pretty sure I loved this guy because he'd been through me with everything. He's super sweet. He is a dork. I keep going back on that one, but he is a dork, and he says things, and it's just really funny. So he's never too serious. He's pretty laid back, and I think that's a pretty good mixture because I'm a redhead. I have a pretty good temper. Sometimes I can get a little overbearing, so I think we're a good balance.
So we went up north to my uncle's cabin. We were going to go snowboarding for a couple days up in Pine Top.
His birthday's February 11th, so I remember he really wanted to go snowboarding, and his uncle owns a cabin up in Pine Top, so I remember he, spur of the moment.
And my plan was to do it the second day we were up there, up on the mountain snowboarding, but so we get up there, and then I changed my mind as far as that goes. I just wanted to do it, and so I didn't have to think about it. So later that afternoon, I tried to time it for the sunset.
We had both just bought new guns, so he was super excited. So he told me just to make sure that we brought him with so we could go shooting. So we got up there on Monday. We went to the store to get some snacks because we were planning on going shooting later that afternoon. And he was so excited about getting some kind of classy snack. He doesn't like me saying this, but he was insistent that we got this gourmet meat and cheese platter. So we got this meat and cheese platter and this little 4-pack of champagne because he told me he wanted a mimosa the next morning.
So we went out into out into the forest a little bit where there's a mountain you can go shooting at, and we had just gotten new handguns, so we wanted to go shoot. So I took her out shooting, and then we were going to do that for a little bit, and I was going to try to find somewhere to watch the sunset and then propose there. So my plan was to kill some time by going shooting, and we went out and shot for maybe 5 minutes, and she was freezing cold. She gets cold easy.
We're out there, we're shooting, and I'm a big baby when it gets cold, so I remember telling him, like, after probably 5 minutes of shooting, I called it quits. I told him I was done. I went and sat in the truck and pouted like a little baby, and I told him I didn't want to go shooting anymore. And he kept saying, come on, let's go, let's go. But I didn't want to, so I told him I was done. So he said, well, what if we just let's go drive around, let's go hike up a mountain. It's a little bit warmer there. I'm like, no, I don't want to. I'm cold, I want to go home. So
I had to kind of improvise, so we ended up driving a little ways into the forest and looking for a hill to go hang out on. And we ended up finding one. As we're driving, there's a bunch of elk running by and stuff, and she's freaking out about the elk and didn't want to get out and go anywhere because she thinks they're going to come after her.
Then I started getting freaked out because there was a bunch of elk running by, and I've never seen elk or deer out in the wild. Then I again started complaining, saying, I want to go home, these elk are going to kill me.
And so I had to convince her, no, it's all right, here's a good spot. I found a good hill that you can kind of see the sunset from, and I was like, let's just climb up here and hang out for a little bit. And she's like, no, the elk, they're going to come get me. And it took a lot of convincing. She's like, that's it, I'll just go up there really fast, we'll hang out there for a minute, we'll come back down. And I had like a mini bottle of champagne in my pocket and everything, and so I was trying to think of how I could convince her to stay up there longer as far as the sunset goes. But
we drove a little bit farther down. He asked if we could hike up just this little mountain. I looked at him and I argued with him for a couple more minutes, telling him I didn't want to die and these elk were going to come eat me. Then after convincing me, I told him I'd give him 5 minutes. We'd hike up this little mountain, not stay up there, and then hike right back down. And he agreed. I remember getting out of the car and being on full alert because there was elk kind of probably 50 yards ahead of me running by.
There's more elk out. You can see more elk down down a ways, and so she's freaking out again. And so after I kind of relaxed her, I was like, hey, look over there, there's some more elk.
Pointed out, he goes, oh, look in front. Made me look away, so I thought an elk was coming up to me. I turn around to yell at him, and he's on a knee, and he has a ring, and he tells me that he loves me, and he wants to spend the rest of his life with me and asked me to marry him.
I got down on one knee and just did it right then.
And I started crying a little bit, and then I started apologizing because I felt really bad that I ruined his whole plan for him.
Luckily, she said yes.
I just want to tell you that I love you, and I'm really thankful for you and everything that you do. And I know I complain a lot, but you're always there to help me. I like it when you come home from work, and then one of the first things you come and do is you come in and I'm still sleeping, and you come and say hi and you give me a kiss. And then you, after that, go and make me breakfast, even though you've come home from a hard day at work. So I love that most about you, and I love how you try to do just little things that are super sweet, that show me that you care. Even if it's just leaving me a note, I love that. And I just am super excited that I get to spend the rest of my life with you.
I'm excited to spend the rest of my life with you, and I'm excited to see what there is, what the world has in store for us as far as kids and where we're going to end up with our careers. And I just want to tell you I'm so proud of how far you've gotten with everything you've worked so hard for, and I can't wait to start a new life with you, and I love you, and I always will.